of the Wright brothers late in 1917, we thought we had introduced an invention which would make war impossible. But by then, the airplane has already been bred from a toy of linen and wire to a prancing war machine. On its wings, a few will find escape from the prison of the trenches. They will be the ones who pluck a last shred of private glory out of the vast mechanical slaughter grinding on below. From the first, the unarmed toy is a valuable observation post. Reconnaissance, artillery spotting, become and remain the airman's principal task. The generals, eyes riveted to the ground, prefer to leave it that way. But the flyers are feverish to join the killing. A weapon is drawn and fired, airman at airman, a primitive dogfight. A dogfight between daredevils. The airplane, at first only an observation post, becomes a weapon less than 3 weeks after the German thrust into Belgium in August 1914. By early 1915, both sides have machine guns manned by the observer on two-seaters. Airmen improvise bombs, drop artillery shells, steel darts, hand grenades. Then, on the 1st of April, a famous pre-war aviator, Roland Garros, points the nose of his French single-seater at a German plane. Incredibly, bullets pour through his whirling propeller. In 2 weeks, Garros shoots down 5 enemy planes. He becomes the world's first ace. Garros' secret lasts 18 days. The Germans capture him after a forced landing. They learn he has steel deflectors on his propeller. Of each 100 bullets his machine gun fires, 7 ricochet murderously around Garros. 93 get through to kill the enemy. The Germans give brilliant young Antoni Fokker, a Dutch manufacturer, 48 hours to produce a less suicidal device. Fokker hooks the gun trigger to the propeller. This interrupts the gun for the instant the blade passes through the line of fire. The Germans buy his plane. The world's first true fighter, the Fokker Eindecker, with synchronized gun, appears in the sky over Flanders. The British Royal Flying Corps is hardest hit. All through late 1915 into 1916, the Fokker scourge will sting the Allies and give the world its first hint of the meaning of air superiority over the battlefield. Max Immelmann gains the first victory for the Fokker Eindecker. He evolves fighter tactics, including a killing maneuver called the Immelmann turn. His score is 15 when he himself dies in June 1916. His squadron mate is Oswald Belke. Belke is a superb and thoughtful pilot. Already he sees that the sky cannot be won by the lone hunter, but by disciplined formations of fighters. Both sides will use Belke's strategy in this war and the next. He works tirelessly with manufacturers to produce a new plane, the Albatross, because new Allied planes and tactics are winning back air superiority over the battlefields of Verdun and the Somme. August 1916, Belke has his own elite squadron of Albatross pilots. But that October, the victor in at least 40 aerial hand-to-hand combats is dead. in a mid-air collision with one of his squadron mates. One of Belky's hand-picked pilots is Manfred Baron von Richthofen. A cavalry lieutenant, he learns to fly despite early mishaps. Diving from the sun like a hawk, Richthofen is an exquisite union of hand, eye, gun, and machine. With each kill, he seeks a trophy. At 24, Richthofen is Germany's adored hero, ace of aces. He is pleasant but aloof, writes his mother 3 times a week, and spends his leaves stalking wild boar. Richthofen is no lone hunter. He efficiently commands 80 elite pilots in red-painted planes, his flying circus. Richthofen has several kinds of planes, like a hunter who has many kinds of guns. By April 21st, 1917, he has 80 trophies. No ace will get more, not even Manfred Baron von Richthofen. Has found the hunter. The Red Knight of Germany has one perfectly placed bullet in his chest. Whether it came from the air or the trenches, no one is sure. The British bury him with full military honors. While the war is bleeding itself out, the circus gets a new commander. Slim, 25-year-old Hermann Goering, an ace with 22 kills. He is a former infantry officer with a severe case of arthritis and a taste for good living, which, as an airman, he can indulge. Goering learns to fly with the help of his inseparable friend, Bruno Lertzer. Goering will be the last commander of the Richthofen Flying Circus. In England, the Royal Naval Air Service is also fighting the air war at sea. Not yet supporting the armies in France, it will join the Royal Flying Corps there later. Now it bombs Zeppelin sheds across the Channel, conducts anti-U-boat warfare, and scouts for the fleet. Naval flyers will keep the Zeppelin sheds under steady bombing attack until the dirigible is all but finished. Britain invents the aircraft carrier, and as early as 1915, the Navy has its first primitive flat top, the Ark Royal, at Gallipoli. One naval daredevil rigs the first torpedo to an airplane. He sinks a Turkish ship. The gnats are learning how to kill the elephants. On land, Royal Flying Corps volunteers go into battle over Flanders and the Somme with as little as 20 hours instruction. They face the best that Germany has to offer, including Richthofen. The British publicize few aces. Almost unnoticed, Major Edward Manock. Partly blind, England's greatest air leader with 73 victories. Killed at 31. Captain Albert Ball, a teenager who fights wildly, recklessly.